Hello, hello, and welcome back to Chartless. I'm just going to say this right now before we even get started. This is take two of my interview with Wim Tapley. Listen, just to be transparent, I am new to podcast editing, and I somehow took our 2 hour conversation, decided that I could make it better with some editing, and the next thing I knew, the cuts that I had put together that were very good was like a tight 12 minutes. I was like,
Sure.
you know, I
I
don't
probably said
know.
a whole lot.
I don't think I don't think we had an hour and 45 minutes of nonsense in the conversation.
At least not from your end, but yeah.
I do know that my questions were phrased 20 minutes long apiece. That had to be what it is.
Love it. No, it's always good to talk to you. I'm very excited to be on another lovely Zoom.
Yeah. And also, I think it's great to reconvene at the beginning of the year. We can check in and talk about what you want to do this year. For those of you who don't know Wim Tapley, he is a former student of mine through the mastermind programs that I teach. And Wim has gone on to be a professional touring recording artist, songwriter, producer, just all around great guy. Setting fire to his scene and sending so much love to his regional scene, which I'm sure he'll fill you all in on. But Wim, I got to know, how is 2025 treating you so far?
So far, it's the best year yet. We're hitting the road hard, which is exactly what I want to be doing. So, yeah, we're super excited about this summer. We're gonna hit some new cities, and I don't know. It's always an honor to play somewhere new, and I hate to say big things coming soon because that's what all the local DJs love to say on their Instagram stories. But yeah, I'm issuing a firm big things coming soon warning.
Warning is hard. What is this cool vibey spot you're talking to me from?
This is my room. This is my little log cabin room. But I am in my studio right now. So I got my little setup. And I right in here got some guitars. It's this guitar's birthday today. It was built like 6 years ago today.
Happy birthday. Is it named? Do you name your guitars?
No, I'm not that cool. I don't know. They're for me, they're like a tool. I work at a guitar shop in Athens, part-time, which is a really fun side hustle. And my favorite thing that my head luthier said is that the guitar always wants to go back to being a tree, which is why it does its thing. But yeah, that's how I feel about it. It's just like we're lucky enough to take something beautiful and think that we can, I don't know, turn it into something more beautiful. But it's good to have good tools, and it's fun to get to play a lot of his guitars. That's a custom
Sure.
built, and I'm stoked on it. It sounds great. It's a good studio guitar.
Talk to me about your recent single release, Powder, please. What's the inspiration behind that song?
That song, it was a wild day recording it because, it's definitely our most inherently political song. I think we wrote it kind of out of a place of frustration just with, the options that we had for leadership. And I think as young people, it's easy to feel hopeless. And, you can flip that into a good thing. Like a big reason why I'm doing what I'm doing is because I wonder how much time we have, and I'm just like pushing exactly what I want to be doing. But at the same time, it feels like, I don't know, it feels like we could be doing better. So we were thinking about, all sorts of stuff, the way that like the food that we eat is no good, and all these drugs are laced, and young people are dying, and trying things like one time and dying, and everybody knows somebody that's been affected by that. And so all that was swirling around. The day that we went into the studio to record it was when Joe Biden stepped down from the nomination. So it was this kind of weird air in the studio, and it was very doom and gloom, which I think kind of contributed to that. I don't know, just that heaviness that we were feeling. But the good news is, I think that we always have each other, and the best thing that we can lean into is community. And having my band and that process was a really comforting thing for us. And I don't know, it feels like it was time to sing about something that wasn't just like lovey-dovey. And I love me a love song, but I don't know,
Yeah,
the people that I look up to write about deeper things. And
sure.
I don't know, I'm trying to do my part with whatever platform I've been gifted and I've worked for. So
Sure. Yeah. I mean, we have a choice as to, this is going to rhyme, but we have a choice as to how we want to use our voices.
sure.
You know, Interestingly enough, I wanted to ask you because we've never talked about this before. Someone recently reached out to me, and I'm not really sure what I was meant to do with this, but someone recently reached out and was basically like, respectfully, I'm not going to do songwriting anymore because AI is taking over, and nowadays anybody with an iPad, can just program something and poof, you're a songwriter. And so why bother? I think it was someone who's been at this for a very long time and has probably lived through a lot of different pivots, in
Hmm.
their career.
Sure.
So fine. I mean, I respect everyone. No one, you don't have to make music because I say to, you know what I mean? If you're not feeling it,
Sure. You
don't.
should be digging it. You
Right.
should be making it for you.
But what do you think about the fact that we do have these digital tools which can help, if you want to use them in a certain way? But what do you think about that versus kind of that undying human urge to make art? Do you think that will prevail and that will still matter to the consumers of art, like where it comes from?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know anybody that would, at least in my circle, maybe it's a little different just because I hang out with a lot of people, in our industry, but I think people want something that comes from an honest source. And a lot of times things are really, not fabricated, but things are really built up and planned well. And like the pop stars, like there's no accidents with anything. There's a lot of money thrown, a lot of good timing and good direction and hard work, good choreography, all the things. So I don't know, all that to say, like, I think it's good that people have the tools that they need to make stuff. I think it's cool that everybody could pick up an iPad and kind of do their thing. And that's how I started. I had GarageBand on my iPad, and I'm sure that someone would look down and be like, "Oh, you can't play a guitar on an iPad or whatever." But for me, it was good. I learned a lot from it. I'm into the covers where they'll take SpongeBob and make him sing a Creed song or whatever. And I've heard some kind of funny stuff come out of it, but really, I don't think you're going to move any sort of masses because the commodity that we're selling as musicians is not our music necessarily. It's more so like we have to connect with our audience as people and they have to feel like they know us and like we can almost like sing into their lives and stuff. And you're never going to get that response from AI. I hope. I don't know. I hope that AI is like becomes amazing at doing dishes and
That'd be great. Yeah.
laundry and we can just like all focus on it shouldn't be the one writing copy for us and writing stuff. Like I used AI at the guitar shop today to make a spreadsheet for all the little tasks that we need to do, and that saved me 20 minutes or whatever. But
Right.
that's what I want to use it for. It's beyond that. I write music because I think I would go stir crazy, and sometimes I kind of spit something out that I needed that I didn't know I had, and I think that's why a lot of us do it. And also, it feels good to just I don't know, pick up a guitar and crank up an amp, and
Yeah. I think the ability to, tell an AI entity or service, hey, make me something that sounds like, Kendrick Lamar is duetting with Drake. you know,
sure,
make me something that sounds like this or this. Like that could be fun, but that's not scratching the same itch as the creative cathartic experience, the process of becoming someone who participates in the art,
Hmm.
and the process of becoming someone who can even push the art form further. Like I want to be someone who, that's how I live. I want to be someone who can do something, does do something. It's the act of me becoming like self-actualized that propels me forward. And so it does nothing for me to press a button or type in some commands and have the Mona Lisa pop up on my screen because that
sure.
doesn't turn me into anything.
No,
It doesn't turn me into someone who can play guitar or connect with these strings or feel the physical sensation of singing. And so I definitely think that the human need to see and be seen is just as strong as it's ever been. And it just, I guess, we'll have to figure out how we want to responsibly use these tools that we have. I agree with you. I think using them for administrative purposes is great.
yeah, it's cool, but we have to remember that so much of that AI music, all that stuff, it rises to the surface because the algorithm hits it and everybody hates on it, and then everybody's commenting on it, and it's like Instagram doesn't decide whether things like a video doesn't go to hell or heaven; it just goes to it does well or it doesn't. And so people skyrocket these videos that are just a huge bummer for everybody. And it's like the best thing that we could all do is just ignore it and live our lives.
Mm.
And that's like the only way that's like the only thing that we can control.
Who is an artist or band that you think I should be listening to right now that maybe I haven't heard of?
We've been touring with Penelope Road. We're going to be on tour with them for about 2 months. They have 4 songs out right now, and they're all great, and they're really, really good dudes. So it's been a blast being on the road with them. And big national touring bands. I'm really, really into Fontaine's DC right now.
Oh
That
yeah.
Romance album, it just blew my mind. And I had never listened to them before, so went back, listened to their whole catalog, and I dig it. I love Ireland, and I don't know, love what they're doing. They're rock and roll.
Awesome. I also wanted to ask you, because we really didn't talk about this at our first attempt to talk sanely and succinctly. What does it feel like, if you could put it into words, when you're in like a flow state creatively?
It's kind of weird, but for me, it's almost like I'm so close to just like zoning out. It's almost that, I don't know, sometimes I feel like my focus will almost hinder what I'm trying to feel out of my music. And sometimes I'm like really pushing something. And I think it's good to be disciplined. And I don't think you can necessarily wait on influence, but also it's okay to like, kind of let the song come to you and take time with it. And I don't know. I think like my best lyrics, the ones that I love the most, it felt like I kind of just like accidentally fell into them. And the only way that that could happen is that I have an empty mind, and it's almost like I'm getting that meditative state, and so I guess that's what I'm striving for. But then if I focus on that, I'm gonna like freak
Mm.
out about it. It's not. So I guess it's all, it's just trusting the process and staying writing and staying living. You got to live hard. You got to like get out and go do scary things, and it's all good for the writing.
Oh, what kind of scary things?
I don't know. I mean, being on the road is great for
Yeah.
everybody, I feel like, but I also think like, I don't know, being in the service industry is good for people. It's also, everything has its downside. Everything could be a trap in its own way, but anything that is relational in nature is just it can only help songwriting, because everything that we write about is about, relating to other people and thinking about how other people and their decisions affect us and how our decisions affect them. And so the best thing that you could do is just try to, figure out empathy as much as possible and go
Mm.
out and meet people and just gain as much insight from them as you can. So
Well, I
I don't
love that. And so I was going to ask you, like what circumstances and what things do you do that you feel bring out the best in you artistically? It sounds like being around people is
know.
a big part of that. What else kind of brings out the best in you, do you think?
I think as a performer, like if you have that drive, like if you want to be in front of people and you want to be playing, for me, it's good for me to have someone new or someone like unfamiliar in the setting, because I kind of, if I'm playing with the band for I love playing with my guys, but if we're playing for the 100,000th time or whatever, and we're at the house and we're at our own, you're gonna kick it at your house a little harder. So sometimes we don't have the most productive rehearsals and we'll just kind of screw around and whatever. But if there were like a UGA student working on an article and they want to like sit in on a rehearsal, suddenly I'm gonna, I'm gonna be a good band leader and I'm gonna be like, hey, we're gonna rip through those songs. And so having new people to work with is clutch, and it keeps you on your toes. And I think that the co-writing can get a little out of hand when people start adding like too many people to the room. You don't want to have too many cooks in the kitchen. But for me, finding an artist who I love and respect and like getting to write with them is a just a huge perk of the job. It's like, I don't know. It's cool. It's cool for people to put that trust in you. And if that's the thing that we all take the most seriously, I don't know. It's really cool to write with them and see their perspective and the way that they attack a melody. And I don't know, some great moments are in studio, but also some like super frustrating moments. So it's all a big thing.
Super frustrating, like when you're trying to co-write or work with others and it's not gelling, you mean?
Sometimes that happens. Sometimes there's friction, but that can lead to cool stuff. Like compromise is what you get when you're working on something that's beyond your abilities. So you might listen back and there's stuff I've worked on where it's not precisely the way I would have tweaked it or the way I would have sang a vocal or whatever, but it's like that friction led to a cool song that had more depth to it because we were touching on what both of us wanted to do at the same time.
And digging, right? You're both like, okay, we got to dig
There's a
here.
little anger, and then you like the ego. You're like, I gotta write better than this, dude sitting across from me. Like, it's like if I don't like your idea, then I gotta give you a better one because I can't just be over here like shooting down everybody. So I don't know, and it was good to have people that like we could cool off and like walk out the room, and there were breaks that we took and things, but yeah, nobody threw hands, so nobody hollered too hard at each other.
Yeah.
So and we got good music out of it.
So then this segues into the flip side of that question, which is what brings out the worst in you? And I mean, not even, I don't mean like what makes you want to throw fists, but what do you feel like curbs your motivation, your creative
Mm.
energy, kind of puts you in that? We all get into that sort of procrastinator vibe sometimes. Like, what kind of kills your drive?
I think, I mean, honestly, for me, I am super, super extroverted and I get sucked. Like, my energy is gone if I'm not around people. And that's kind of transformed into this monster that I'm dealing with where it's like, I gotta be on the road. I just gotta be like burning rubber, new cities every night, new shows, just crushing. And I kind of feel bad when I'm not like, crushing it out there and playing new stuff. And, there were slower periods and we had time in between. I'm working with booking people and stuff where I was just like, chilling at home for a while and I try to make the most of it and I try to practice and do my thing, but I don't know, I think my writing suffered a little bit, whereas when I'm busy and I'm hitting the road and I'm living life hard, I don't know, the songwriting gets squeezed, but it's also good for it to be limited because it's like, oh, I only have X amount of hours to play my guitar. Whereas if I have a full day with nothing planned, it's like I can play my guitar whenever, but I keep saying that all day until
A lot of people tell me that when they have endless amount of time in front of them,
it's terrifying.
nothing happens.
Fun. Like that's how I lived for 2 years in Athens. And I like truly, I went out to the bar a lot, and I, did my fair share of living in a college town and stuff. And I think that having structure and good community and music, really like music has always been there for me and it's always been the thing like no matter how dark it gets, no matter how crazy things get, I can always sit and I'll always play. Like if I'm playing a guitar, I'll feel a little bit better. And like sometimes just a little bit is all you need just for that
Yeah,
moment. And it's I don't know, it's always everybody used to sing and play like music as a recorded thing is so new. It's I don't know, it feels so good to play and I wish that everybody could pick up I don't know. If everybody's playing it, it's like George Harrison used to hand out ukuleles out of his
yeah,
car, and I hate to be
yeah.
like, I want to see the world in harmony and peace and love, but it would be beautiful to see like my mom ripping some keys, and I don't know.
You know, it's funny when you're talking about how, being extroverted and how drained you get when you're not around people. I can relate to that. I'm a fairly extroverted person and being around people definitely lights me up. But creatively, I have a very hard time getting into a creative headspace if I am living too much in the external world.
Sure, I understand that.
I'm satiated.
Hmm.
Like my mental health is really good and I'm not saying you need to be in a bad mental space to make music, but like
Sure.
I'm satiated and then I have enough of an introvert side to me that I do need to recharge my batteries when I'm not around people. And I tend to need silence to recharge. So what'll happen is I'll have limited recharge time because I'm so busy and on Zoom and doing all the things. And then I will recharge, right? I will like read a book or write in my journal or whatever. I'm kind of at my best creatively when I'm bored and antsy.
Sure.
So for me, if I have like a week, of hibernation ahead of me, I won't get anything done maybe for the first 2 or 3 days. And then suddenly a switch goes on and
Hmm.
I am on fire. I am on fire. I'm
Felt
in the
that.
zone. And then even if my schedule picks up and I'm really busy, it doesn't matter because now I'm like addicted to that creative spark. But like when my creative spark is not lit, I need like a week at least of a blank calendar before I can get it back. Does that make
Sure.
sense?
Yeah, I mean, if you're going all the time, you're gonna be, your brain will always give you an excuse to go sit on the couch and do your thing. And it's like if you're getting everything done and you're seeing everybody you want to see and all of it, yeah, I get that. It can almost be, you're like, why would I write music? I'm already happy. Like I don't need that anymore. But
Yeah, and then my nervous system I think gets a little fried, just sensory overload. And then I'm like, I'm tired of hearing myself.
yeah,
I'm tired of hearing music. I'm tired of like, any
yeah.
sonic noise.
Oh
No,
my
thank
gosh.
you.
Sitting at the merch table and like when I've said the same thing, not intentionally, like I'm never like trying to be some sort of planned out guy or like stick to a script or whatever. But when I've said the same thing to like three different people who've come up to buy a t-shirt, I'm like, I hate myself. Like I'm the very thing like, but it's almost like you go into like fight or flight and it's like I can't stutter. I can't be like I gotta like be cool because we have hours on the road with people and it's like in my mind, like, oh, we'll catch him next time. That wasn't the best night or whatever. But for them, it's like they're only gonna see you one time maybe, or they're gonna get that 30-second interaction with you. So it can be a lot of pressure, but it,
Sure. And you're trying to convert people, especially if you're opening for someone, especially. They're not necessarily there for you, but now they're taking the time to go to your merch table and get a selfie. And yeah,
Mhm.
it's make or break a fan interaction the whole time.
Yeah, it becomes a whole thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fun too. It's like the best part of the night, meeting everybody.
Well, yeah. And like you said, it's like that little bit of pressure of having a new person in front of you to keep you on your toes and bring out the best in you, even if
Yeah,
it's on
I
a
never
second.
want anybody to be like, if someone's like, that's not my thing, that's cool. But if they're like, that's not cool. Like I gotta be sweating. Like, I don't know. You saw me play in New York, but I
Hmm.
have to I have to rip it. And if I'm doing what I'm doing as hard as I can, then I did nothing wrong. I can always get better. I can always practice, but at least I'm doing everything I can.
Now, see, was it because I was there with my friends that you just knew you had to bring it in New York?
Well, yeah, I'm like, I can't be slacking because you're like, man, like you sounded hype through the Zoom, but like this is disappointing. Like I'm like, screw that. We're gonna go out and melt faces, and whether or not we melt faces is up to chance. But I think that we're, working hard to play to the best of our abilities. It doesn't always happen. Sometimes we like hit these little hiccups and our licks just don't come out right. But it's also fun playing a new gig every night and
Yeah.
improvising and I'm lucky to have like jam band guys in the band. Then Olin is our sax player who's really jazz focused and he's a mature musician. Like he'll play the least, but he'll play the best parts. And having that direction from my guys, it just makes the show fun and it's always different. But you
Yeah.
know,
Tell us about the other guys in your band.
yeah, Garrett is our bassist. He's our Southern gentleman, and he's a good fella. He's just like a spiritual shaman and a kind soul. And I met him like playing at the bars in Athens. I used to play this one bar every single Wednesday night, and his band would come and we would start jamming. And this house that I'm living in now, I would visit when I was going to school, and it was like my little oasis from the world where I could play an amp really loud, and we got good neighbors and stuff. So yeah, Garrett's been playing with me the longest out of this crew. We brought Olin in because our first sax player is now going to be a dentist, so he went a different route. But we love Craig. He's in Augusta, and we're going to play Augusta in March, and he'll hop up with us. I'm stoked on it
Oh,
because
so
he's a
fun.
good dude.
Okay, so we have Olin, we have Garrett, and then who
Yeah.
else?
Our drummer is Jacob Sherwin. He is his claim to fame is he got to play percussion on a Ghostface Killah song. So we were all stoked for him. His roommates will like go out with him and they'll get drunk and they're like, "My roommate's Ghostface Killah," and he's just like, "Shut up." But Jacob's a good dude. He's got a good pocket and he's toured a lot with some jam bands around the southeast, all over the country, really. He's fan of Denver, and we really want to get out to Colorado and do like a ski tour and stuff. So having his wisdom and his direction has been really big. Especially like, kind of a big theme for my band, and I'm sure everybody goes through it in some capacity. Some people get so lucky and they just do it the right way. But, I've really worked with the wrong people at some pivotal moments, and it felt like we had this momentum that just didn't make sense. And in the same way, I feel like I've worked with the right people maybe at the wrong time where things didn't come together. And so we had some transitions and we had people getting fired and hired and all sorts of stuff. And we're like trying to do the most work that we can do. But having Jacob's guidance through all that was big because
Yeah.
I'm gonna freak out. I'm gonna go front man mode and I have my name in the band. I'm like, oh my God. And then Jacob's like, oh, your first time, buddy. Like we're gonna yeah. So I don't know. I love my guys. They're all older than me, and it's an honor to have them. I don't know, trusting me to pay them every night and, and play a good show. They'll play my
Sure.
music, so that's
I
the
mean,
best.
can we just normalize though? I mean, so how old are you now?
22 now.
22 is still early to have the right group of guys at the right time, and it doesn't mean obviously that you're going to play with the same people for the rest of your life. You may not, you may add on whatever, but
Sure,
to have to be in a good spot, with a really good group of people that you can actually tour with professionally.
sure. We can stand each other, which is they can't stand me, but I can stand them.
And you can do business together. I think that's what people don't understand. People
Hmm.
look at some legends from when the business was very different. Like, oh, you too, they met when they were in high school. The Beatles, they met when they were teens. And it's not supposed to be three or four friends who grew up next door to each other and, ride or die. This is a business decision,
Hmm.
and it is very, very, very normal for people to get along as people, but not necessarily want to form a company together or not necessarily want to work for someone else's company. I
Hmm.
mean, I don't work with most of my best friends,
Sure. Yeah, I agree.
right? And it's not just because we're in different industries. Like I have my best friends, for in no way, shape, or form would I ever want to work with them or have money exchanging between us or anything like that, right?
Mm.
And so I think musicians get very in their heads about this. Like, I did something wrong. I made a bad decision. Maybe I'm not likable. Maybe the music isn't good. If I was famous, he wouldn't have left the band to become a dentist. There's all that
Right.
stuff that
Yeah.
goes into it.
Rest in peace. Nice.
Yeah, but it's just, it is a band is a business, it's a company.
Sure.
It's a fluid thing that needs to be flexible to accommodate your human relationships with people, but also so that the business can be a sustainable thing. And it can be awkward because we're sensitive people, we're creative
Totally.
people.
Musicians are crazy to work with. Yeah, I love my guys and I have worked with really great members of the band in the past who we don't work with anymore and like we're still cool and sometimes it's a circumstantial thing. Sometimes it's a personal thing and that sucks. But yeah, I'm super lucky. I would never take my band for granted and I'm always trying to haul as much drum gear around as I can.
Uh,
And we're trying to like, I don't want to have a Freddie Mercury mic and just like, leave the gig at the end of the night. But they're also, they give me a lot of space and they know that like, if I need to be posted up at the merch table, they'll haul my guitars out to the van and they won't complain. And we always try to take care of each other and they're thoughtful people and I don't know. It's gonna be cool hitting a lot of spots, but sometimes we're in the van, we're like, shut up, like
of
stop.
course.
Usually, I don't know, Jacob and I like we can do some talking, but
Yeah, my thing in vans as well with people is always when they chew.
mm, that's I kind of I hate to throw my mom under the bus, but sometimes I hang out with her and I'm like, Mom, like, but it's just because I've known her for forever. I don't think it's because she's chewing anything crazy.
I made fun of quite often from other people who've been on road trips with me about when I finally lost my mind. It was because somebody was chomping on a crinkly bag of pretzels really loud while I was trying to figure out where to park the car, trying to merge. And I finally lost it with like, do you have to eat so loud right now?
We had one of those moments because I'm a little brother, like I'm a little brother of two, and so is Jacob,
Oh,
and
you
then
guys are pains
Garrett
in
is
the
an
neck.
yeah, Garrett's an older brother, and Garrett's like we hang out constantly. Like all we work at the same bar together. Like we play in the band together. We live together. So we have that dynamic going. And Garrett was trying to cancel a gym membership that was not trying to cancel him. Like he was on the third phone call or whatever, and he had to go in and sign paperwork and all this stuff. So it was not a good time to be poking the bear. And there's this Louis Armstrong song called Cheesecake. I don't know if you've heard it, but he goes, cheesecake, munching on a cheesecake, munching on it. And I thought that was the perfect time to blast that in the band. And so Garrett, it was sweetness and peace and love and like just a kind, he's like, turn that off. It was just a whole thing. And so yeah, Cheesecake is a very iconic and near and dear song to our band. And he was able to cancel the membership, so it was
Oh,
good.
good. I was, see, but like the type A in me, I was like, but did he get to cancel the
Yeah, you're like,
membership?
wait, but
But
yeah,
how does it end?
that's the ending. Everybody, it's happy. Yeah,
It's
he
happy.
almost like threw me out the van. They'll keep me humble. It's good to have some real people around. I don't want a bunch of yes people because not all my ideas are the right ideas. And it's good to have people that care about me enough to, hold me accountable, keep me on track, keep me around the right people. It's all
Do,
important.
do you feel like you are pretty direct in terms of like saying what you like, what you don't like, kind of how you want things to be? Do you feel like you're pretty
Yeah,
direct?
and it's good for our band because we've heard of a lot of friends who struggle with their dynamics. They don't necessarily know where their places in the band exist. And it's good to have, I think every band should have a written band agreement. For me, we have that final, like I have that like veto, yes or no. And it almost opens up the floor. This is coming from who's running the whole thing, and maybe they're like, screw this guy. But
I'm
and
going to have them on next and we're
yeah,
going to,
they have space to contribute what they want to contribute, and they know, I don't know, they know how seriously everybody's going to take it, and it's almost like it's nixed any sort of disagreements that we had or serious disagreements that we could have over stuff because everybody feels comfortable sharing with the class, and it's good.
so this won't be a shocker to you. I give advice to a lot of musicians.
Sure.
Right. And a lot of times we're talking about the business end of things, and band dynamics is a big part of that. And so many front people are afraid that if they don't make it a democracy, that they won't be able to keep their bandmates, because their bandmates won't feel valued or they won't
Sure.
feel heard. Now, I think I mean, if you can make that work, great. But I think that you can't fake that. You can't be like, well, I want them to feel like it's a democracy. But in
Sure.
reality, I know I'm not going to be happy if it doesn't go a certain way or if I don't have veto power because I am the one who's put in all the money and made the investment. And it is my name and it is my music. And I have put
Mhm.
in the years of, becoming a producer and all this stuff, right? So I love what you're describing, which is let's just everybody put their cards on the table. Like,
Yeah, everybody's very open.
yeah, let's
Um,
all be open. At the end of the day, I do have the veto power, but that
mhm.
doesn't mean that I'm closed-minded and that I don't think I'm better because you're here contributing,
Yeah.
right?
It's I don't know, it's healthy for us, I feel like. And
Yeah.
they know what they signed up for. They didn't found the band, so they get it. And I'm lucky. I hit the jackpot that I have people that are willing to like play without ego.
Well, that's just it. I think you run the risk if you're very upfront. You run the risk of people saying, that's not for me."
Sure.
But isn't that a good thing to know up front that, y'all are investing this amount of time and energy and, in something that isn't going to work long term?
Yeah.
It's like being honest on a dating app, like about what,
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
No matter how many people you're in front of, if you're not playing something that's cool in your heart, it almost feels like you're like playing pretend up there. I've had some hired gun experiences and it's like it's great to make a check playing music, but if you're gonna do it because you want to feed your soul, you might as well like feed your soul the good stuff and just slam it, play what you want to play. And there's space for everybody's weirdness and everybody's ideas. And like you were saying, like not wanting to work with your friends, like I have good friends who I would feel like I'm almost insulting asking them to join my project just because I want to hear what their project sounds like. And I'm like, my buddy Reese moved to Athens and he's an amazing Jerry Garcia style guitarist. And I'm like, this dude could rule the jam band scene. I would love to have him in my band, but I've never asked him because I'm like, I'm excited for his project and his songwriting and everything he has to
Right.
contribute. And there's no reason for me to try to squish him into my mold. But someone who is down to be a canon. Like my guys are like, they wear the name and they wear the, like, they're a unit. They're like my wrecking crew. They're my,
Your E Street band.
yeah, they're my dogs. Like they're my, I don't know.
And when do you hit the road next? Because we've established the fact that you can't wait. So,
Yeah, we have about 50 gigs through June, May or June so far. So we're just gonna try to hit everywhere. We're about to announce a Florida tour in May, which I'm sure will be announced by the time this comes out. And we're we're playing with our buds Penelope Road. They're doing a Southeast run. It's been a lot of fun. We're going to a ski town next weekend, which has been a big dream of mine. I really want to do a ski tour someday. Um, but yeah, we're gonna get as far as like New York and beach towns and stuff this summer, and then we're gonna go out to the Midwest for the first time, and Denver and do Colorado and stuff. Hopefully, we can get out to LA too. We'll see what's up. But one show at a time. It's cool to be playing anywhere.
amazing. Well, I will come see you when you're in New York over the summer, provided I'm here in town. You know it.
Love it.
I will be here again. How can everybody keep in touch with you? What's the best way?
You can check us out on Instagram or any social media. We're on wimtapley.com. We have a text list too you can sign up for. It's on our Instagram, and we've sent people our music early. Like we've just sent them SoundCloud links. We'll send merch discounts, all sorts of stuff. So it's worth being on it if you like the band. And
Oh, no, I'm going to sign
I'll
up
hook you
because
up.
I need a merch discount.
There you
Just
go. Yeah. Oh man.
get a
Well,
shirt.
let's just give you a merch like 100% discount. You've sent me some cool stuff, so we can it's like a jersey swap. Game respects game.
Nice. Yeah. Well, there's a very, very special piece of Melissa Mulligan merch coming to you this year. We're doing
Nice.
15-year anniversary of MMVS.
Congratulations. That's
Yeah,
excellent.
thank you. So working with the designer and the editor in chief of Chartlist, the magazine, Joyce Trotniak, she's designing this like MMVS 15 gear and
Love it.
very excited. Well,
Be
maybe a
cool.
little sports theme. We'll see.
Oh, snap. Okay. You better pick the right teams, man, or else my band is they're gonna No, I'm kidding.
Team MMVS.
Love it. I like that team.
Yeah, Team MMVS. And I don't think the colors are gonna clash with any specific allegiances that you have.
I'm just joshing.
Good.
Well,
Wait,
I'll write whatever you
Are you
say.
an Orioles fan?
I'm like any like Baltimore
National.
and DC sports.
Yeah.
But then, I'll root for the UGA. Like, I'll root for the dogs because if I ever get a degree, it'll be down here. I love Athens.
I
But
know you do. Big love to Athens. I have to
been
get
good to
out
me.
there. I have
Oh
to
yeah,
get
you
out
got to. We'll let you know anytime there's a show down here. It's a cool music scene. It's very organic, and there are new bands popping up every week, and there's like gigs in movie theaters and bars and real good stuff. It's a funky place. There's good folk music. There's some records this year that I'm just like, it's an honor to be around the people who are making them and seeing them at like the coffee places and stuff because it's so cool. It's like our connection to Nashville is getting stronger and stronger,
there.
and it's I don't know. It feels special still though. If it feels like I never got to experience early 2000s Nashville and stuff, but it seems like that was a good time.
Maybe you're in that version of it now.
It's my own little world where
Yeah.
it's kind of a taste of that. So it's
Yeah.
cool.
I love it so much. I love seeing you happy.
It's cool. I'm very lucky. I've always been happy ever since I've known you, I think. I think I've always just been lucky to be playing, but it's cool to see a lot of like years long dreams. They were at, talk about your road mapping, like I'm hitting some stuff that's a lot further along than I thought I would get at this point.
Yeah, so proud of you. So proud of you. You visualized it. You visualized it. I don't know. Yeah, I agree. I don't know if you realized you'd be able to hit it as quickly as you have so far. So I'm super proud of you.
I feel a little dorky sometimes just because I'm like not used to what we're doing yet. And I don't know. I think what I'm learning is like everybody who's up on the biggest stages, like they're all just people too, and they're trying their best. And I just kind of got to get over it and remember how young I am, and it's cool. But people, again, like what I was saying, people like realness, and
Of course. Yeah, that's where we're real and vulnerable and definitely not AI generated.
Very true. Yeah, I've had an extra finger this whole time. It's like a AI. Well, yeah, this is Wimbot.
Fooled again. All right, Wim, enjoy the rest of your day. This is awesome. Thank you so much for hanging out with me on Chartless.
Some things you just never get over, and that's alright. Because